You are now watching The Beach.
What are the most hated SpongeBob episodes? You'll see episodes like Boating Buddies, The Splinter, A Pal for Gary, Stuck in the Ringer, and One Course Meal constantly brought up. These episodes are absolutely awful, and there's a reason why people often consider these episodes to be amongst the worst. How could you even forget them? Because every cartoon reviewer in 2014 wanted you to know just how bad these episodes were. This era of reviews was so long ago that Mario Kart 8 was still a new game, but the memories are still crystal clear. Most of these notorious episodes came from Season 6 and Season 7, but amongst the notorious bad episodes, there is one episode that is always brought up, and it's from the Golden Era. I reviewed SpongeBob's House Party, and it's what I consider to be the worst classic SpongeBob episode. However, that's not what the general consensus is, because what most people consider to be the worst classic episode is one that used to be considered a gem. This episode is none other than I Was Stupid. With bad episodes, they usually weren't ever considered good. But what happened with I Was Stupid? Why did the tide change so much in regards to this episode's reception? Going into the episode, I wanted to know what makes it a bad episode. With that being said, it's time to dive into the classic SpongeBob episode that fans turned on. Our story begins with Patrick panicking over the news that his parents will be coming to town for Starfish Appreciation Day. There are some really funny jokes and visuals when it comes to Patrick getting his house ready. If you've ever wondered how Patrick can survive being unemployed, he literally can make furniture himself. I'm sure he could make benefits in healthcare as well. SpongeBob goes to see what all the ruckus is about. Patrick is freaking out that his parents are coming because he's worried they think he's dumber than a sack of diapers. So SpongeBob comes up with the idea of acting dumber than Patrick to make him look smart in comparison. That idea is so stupid, it could actually work. Patrick's parents come over and the celebration of Starfish Appreciation Day begins. This episode has a gimmick that often has been overlooked, but this was the first time that we saw Patrick's parents. SpongeBob's parents made their first appearance in Season 1, so it was interesting to see Patrick's family for the first time. But how are Patrick's parents as characters? The characters of SpongeBob's parents are mostly defined by one thing. You go on a Google and look up, why are SpongeBob's parents cookies? The answer is that they're actually biscuits, thank you very much, because they're from the United Kingdom. Now, in all seriousness, they're designed to look like sea sponges if you ever were looking for the answer, but their personalities are about as flat as a kitchen sponge. They mainly just serve as a tool for the plot rather than characters, meaning that they don't have much personality, but their presence can make for some interesting plots and jokes. Patrick's parents, on the other hand, have some defined personality traits. They could have gone for something like just pure stupidity.
Hi Mom, hi Dad.
Hello Patrick, do you know what my daddy did? Poop! He pooped!
Then I remembered that this is Season 2, not the brain rot of modern SpongeBob. What Patrick's parents are very condescending and also clueless. This is apparent the first second that we see them.
Son, you recognized us this time. Oh, I know where... Oh, let me lead the way so we don't get lost, huh? Hold hands now.
What's also interesting about Patrick's parents is that they parody Homer and Marge Simpson. Though Janet here is looking more like Patty and Selma. That's not very demure. It's not so much how they act, more so just their designs, but it's worth bringing up because this is one of the rare instances of SpongeBob parodying another cartoon. Patrick's parents are not friendly or parental, but this is actually a good thing because their personalities are extremely relevant to how Patrick progresses throughout the episode. After a bit of banter, SpongeBob comes over to put his idea in motion, and the show SpongeBob puts on is something else.
How do you do? Hi.
No, SpongeBob, no! Shake hands! No, SpongeBob! Show them your house! No, not your blouse! Your house!
isn't a fruit?
That's unhealthy.
SpongeBob's stupid act is absolutely hysterical. His idea works like a charm, and that is when Patrick fully realizes that he can use SpongeBob's stupidity to his full advantage. And this is the moment where this episode becomes hated. When Patrick and his family have dinner, SpongeBob continues to act absolutely moronic. It's pretty funny, even if it's just visual gags and funny sounds. There's more banter between the Star family, and this is the moment where Patrick goes from amused to a full-on D-bag. The shift goes from Patrick saying, "SpongeBob needs more than masking tape to fix him," when he's acting stupid, to making fun of how he says, "I'm ready, I'm ready." And then it just progresses to Patrick insulting everything about SpongeBob, from his personality to his appearance. SpongeBob gets so fed up with Patrick that he ends the act and tells Patrick's parents he was just pretending to be dumb. But in a turn of events, they thought that Patrick was a genius, and so much of a genius that he educated SpongeBob within the span of 2 minutes. SpongeBob eventually comes to a breaking point where he finally just explodes and runs to his house. This is the exact reason why this episode is hated so much. It's one of the first examples of Patrick being Pat Prick. Man is absolutely relentless with the insults, and you can watch SpongeBob progressively get more annoyed and upset as it goes on. On paper, this seems like a horrible episode, but after rewatching it for this retrospective, I realized something. And that is that this episode's animosity from fans is blown way out of proportion, and most of the hate of this episode isn't even related to the episode itself. So what exactly caused fans to turn on I'm Was Stupid? Before getting into it, make sure to comment on this video sharing your thoughts on I'm Was Stupid. Did you like the episode, or did you think it was terrible? And also make sure to subscribe. We're only 20k away from 100k. Getting that silver play button is a dream I've had ever since I was a kid. Let's make that dream a reality. But back to the reason why fans turned on this episode? Patrick is an absolute jerk in this episode. No question. But just because Patrick is a jerk doesn't automatically make it a bad episode. Let's take a look at episodes where Patrick is at his absolute worst. In an episode like The Card, the whole plot is centered around Patrick finding an extremely rare trading card, and SpongeBob freaking out as Patrick ruins the card throughout the episode. And in Stuck in the Ringer, Patrick glues SpongeBob into the ringer and shows no sign of remorse or care for SpongeBob. Why are these episodes so bad? The answer is quite simple. They're not funny. They're not entertaining. At all. What I get from watching The Card is pure concentrated cringe. I cringe watching Patrick destroying the card. It's not funny, and it's not entertaining to watch. And with Stuck in the Ringer, it's a combination of cringy and annoying. The problem isn't just Patrick being a jerk, is that these episodes aren't entertaining or have any funny or clever jokes. But in I'm Was Stupid, there are a ton of hilarious moments. Patrick roasting SpongeBob is the turning point for many watching this episode. But personally, I find it to be hilarious.
Only somebody with holes drilled in their head would wear that stuff. And how about the shape? I mean, I've heard of barrel-chested, but never box-chested.
Remember when Plankton roasted an entire family? It was hilarious, and most would agree. But when Patrick roasts SpongeBob, it's seen as mean-spirited and couldn't ever be funny. And this is what I like to call Mr. 2014 Reviewer Syndrome. During this era, when bad SpongeBob episode reviews were becoming prominent, the two main categories of bad SpongeBob episodes were Squidward torture episodes and Jerky Patrick episodes. Because of this, I feel I'm Was Stupid got lumped with episodes like Stuck in the Ringer because Patrick is a jerk. But without any nuance considered, I'm honestly shocked that an episode like Jellyfishing didn't become as hated because Squidward got tortured there. The reason why Patrick becomes a jerk and I'm was stupid is because he's so delusional that he genuinely thinks that SpongeBob is actually dumb. Not only that, but remember how I said Patrick's parents being clueless and condescending was important to the plot? Well, that's because Patrick sponges up their personality traits to win their approval throughout the episode. And it works.
That's just what I'd expect you to say. Dumb people are always blissfully unaware of how dumb they really are.
But the main aspect of I'm was stupid that makes Patrick being a jerk actually hilarious can be summed up in one word: irony. I'm was stupid has some hilarious jokes, but the irony throughout the episode makes it even more entertaining. Patrick is stupid, and watching him believe he's smart while calling SpongeBob dumb? Look who's talking! And the best example of this is with the ending. Patrick ended up being such a genius that those parents there weren't even his real parents. Now, if SpongeBob got even angrier at Patrick and plotted to make Patrick's parents into chili, he might have chosen the wrong ones. Though if he were to do it, hopefully these ones would have been selected to be turned into chili. Ugh. Turns out, Janet and Marty didn't even have a son. The fact that Patrick didn't even realize they were not his parents? Well, who is the dumbass now? Even if Patrick annoyed SpongeBob, Patrick is the one who ended up looking like the real idiot at the end. It's a good end to the episode and a really clever twist ending. I'm Was Stupid has not been seen in the most positive light. I was very interested in seeing why fans turned on it, and after rewatching it, I can honestly say that a lot of the reasons I don't feel are related much to the episode itself, and when they are, I find them to be way overblown. I consider it to be a good episode. I won't go as far to say that it's one of the best classic episodes, but it's still entertaining and really funny. It's definitely an unpopular opinion saying that this episode is good, but the thing is, I'm not the only one who feels this way. My good friend RidersDX has some interesting thoughts on the episode as well, and he's here to share his thoughts on why I'm Was Stupid is one of the only episodes where Patrick being a jerk works.
Conventionally attractive human, I am RidersDX, and I guess I should thank the Meech for letting me be in this video, but that would involve being nice to him, and we can't have that. We're here to talk about a SpongeBob episode that could have very well went in the direction of being one of the worst pieces of SpongeBob media from the golden age. I'm Was Stupid plays on a trope that has become notorious for being one of the worst tropes in modern SpongeBob, and that is Patrick being an so Patrick is dumb, we all know that, but there's a difference between being like playfully dumb in a way that doesn't really offend anyone versus being so dumb that it infringes on other people's way of living and really just makes you come off as a big jackass and leaves you wondering why anyone is friends with this character. And unfortunately, a lot of modern SpongeBob episodes really do fall into this trap. So why is it I'm Was Stupid one of the only and also one of the most funniest examples of this that actually works? The episode starts out very simple. Patrick is insecure about what his parents are gonna think and say when they come over to visit him. So SpongeBob, being the best friend that he is, tries to lend a helping hand by pretending to be stupider than Patrick to make his parents feel like, wow, this is a really impressive kid that we've raised. Unfortunately, because Patrick is a dumbass, Patrick ends up believing that he's actually smarter than SpongeBob, and as a result, treats SpongeBob like a complete idiot who's basically less than a full-fledged human or public citizen or fish or whatever. And SpongeBob is clearly distressed by this development, but despite that, it is one of the funniest examples of Patrick being a dumbass, and the reason for that is because at the very end of the episode, you find out that Patrick this whole time mistook two strangers as his parents, and there is just a sense of irony and bewilderment in that statement, in that scenario and situation that makes you feel bad for Patrick, because this poor guy wants to believe that he's smart and one of the higher up people in the society so bad, but in the end, he can't even remember the faces and the voices of his own parents who raised him as a child. It is such a dumbfounded and stupid conclusion to the episode, and such a wise way to basically turn this around and be like, okay, Patrick was a jackass, but he is just so stupid that you can't help but laugh. This is a very hard thing to get right though, so I'm not surprised that other episodes that really try to do this do not succeed, because this was, in my opinion, like a once in a lifetime like twist that they made in this genre genre of SpongeBob episodes. It's okay, Patrick, you can believe I'm stupid any day because you truly are stupid, so I always feel more bad for you than anything.
Very well said. If you love all things SpongeBob, make sure to subscribe to Riders DX as well. He covers SpongeBob games, Sonic games, and of course, he's a great pal. So subscribe to him, otherwise you'll have to stay at the Motel 6 for a year.
It's a coping mechanism.
Overall, I'm Was Stupid is a good episode, but it could have been improved. Here's how I would have made it better. I would have had SpongeBob fight back. When Patrick roasts SpongeBob, SpongeBob could have roasted him back. SpongeBob has a lot more material to work with too. He then could have challenged Patrick to answer basic questions, and then the cracks would show that Patrick isn't a genius after all. And I do think that a more satisfying end to the episode would be SpongeBob finding out that those weren't even Patrick's real parents, and then he could slap the karate helmet on Patrick and say, "Who's stupid now?" Fans may have turned on I'm Was Stupid, but I still find it to be a good episode. And the thing is, it's not even close to being the worst example of a character being mistreated in the classic episodes. But what is that episode? Tune into the next episode of Treasure Treasure Animated, where we take a look at the Great Snail Race. So what do you guys think? What do you think of I'm Was Stupid? Did Patrick take things too far? Or was the episode actually hilarious? Anyways, thanks for watching and keep calm and dada on.